Hey guys, what's going on? It's Corbin Stuckey here, and today I'm here to bring you my first tutorial video on how to make a thumbnail in After Effects. Now, there are a lot of ways that you can approach making a thumbnail. You can use a different software, especially Photoshop. Photoshop, I think, is what is majorly used for for making a YouTube thumbnail, because it's obviously a photo editing software application. But there was a time where I didn't have Photoshop and I was limited to just using After Effects, and After Effects works just fine because with After Effects, like, you can edit certain frames of a movie. So if you can edit frames, then you can implicate that into a JPEG footage, or not footage, JPEG picture. And I usually do this when I'm doing thumbnails on my YouTube channel, my Pixel Talk YouTube channel. And as you can see here, there are some thumbnails with me, and these are the kind of thumbnails that we're going to be taking a look at. Specifically, I'm going to show you how to make a thumbnail of like a movie poster in the background, and just a regular blue background thumbnail. So it's going to be a pretty chill video. There's not going to be any outtakes or anything like that. So if I stutter, I'm sorry. I always find myself in thought about what the hell I just said. So let's take a look at what we can do here. We're going to open After Effects. And it's loading. Okay, so basically what we're going to do now, we're going to press OK. Just make sure that everything is up and ready. Okay, so we just made a new project, and we're going to go to New Composition, and this isn't really important, but you can name this whatever. We'll name it YouTube Thumbnail. And just press OK. And we've got a composition, and if you guys saw, it was a 1280 720. These thumbnails that you upload onto YouTube have to be a certain size, so 1280 720 is fine. Just the composition of like a video or something like that. It's listed on the website as to what size it needs to be. And let's go with the Wonder Woman thumbnail that I had. So basically, first, and I'll show you like the different options of what we can do. If you want to create your own background, that's fine, but let's first start off with something kind of easy. This thumbnail right here. So we're going to be recreating this, just the poster in the background and me in front. So what are you going to need? You're going to need a poster from the movie. You're going to need a picture of yourself. And you're going to need the logo from the movie. So take all of these and drag them into your project folder. And now you have them. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to take the poster. Oh, just went immediately to Wonder Woman's breasts. That's fine. And you want to scale it, kinda. Usually when I'm doing these thumbnails, I want to be able to scale it properly. Like, you don't want to do like a thumbnail where she's like incredibly far away like this. You could, but that'd be really hard. So what I typically do is I scale it, and that's actually pretty good for the most part. But there is this black background, and we want to be able to have like skies throughout the whole entire picture. So what you can do is we're going to copy this layer, and we're going to paste. And what we can do here is I'm actually going to take out the eye tool on this second layer on the bottom to show you what I'm doing. And if we go to the masking tool, specifically rectangle tool, that should work. We are going to mask out this section right here. Okay, so far so good. Oh god. Yeah, and we could just, like, if you double click it, you can make it somewhat bigger if you want. If you want to like increase it, that's fine. That should work for the most part. Let's see what we've got so far. Okay, so we're onto something here. Obviously, there's this huge line right here. If you can see, like, there's a line. We'll get to that later. Right now, I just want to focus on getting this black background out. So we are actually going to copy the layer that we just masked and paste. And let's bring that. Okay, cool. So we are, it's getting there. So what we're gonna do to get rid of these funky looking lines is we are actually going to click on the layer that we first made. We're gonna go to mask, click on the arrow, here we go, and we're gonna feather that out. So we're basically just blending in, like, blending it into the picture. Oh god, sorry about that. And it's looking pretty good for the most part. Let's do the same thing. The feather that we used on this was 63. So we are going to... What's happening to my M tool? Oh wait, this is the... Okay, I know what's going on. It's gotta be the one on the top. There we go, that's the one. We're gonna go to mask, click it, and we're gonna feather and change that to 63. We're just gonna see what that does. And it's looking pretty good for the most part. There are some notabilities, but it's not that noticeable once we put myself in the picture. So let's get started with that. So this is the picture of me. Let me drag it here, and brace yourself, guys. I'm gonna be really up close. Yep, there we go. That always happens because it's like such a huge picture. And we're gonna scale it, and we're gonna reposition it to the left, like that. There we go. Now what you want to do with this is, obviously there's, you know, the background in my video. So it helps if actually you are in front of a green screen, but I actually don't have a green screen here in my apartment at least. And we are going to just rotoscope me out of this frame. So we're going to click the rotoscope tool, and we are going to bring this up. Double click it to bring the full image up, and we're gonna just rotoscope myself out of there. Where's my mouse? Oh, there we go. What the heck? I don't know what's going on here. Oh wait, there it is. I see it. I don't know why it disappeared for a second. My bad. Now we can make this larger. All we have to do is just press Command and scroll a little bit to make it larger, and then we're just going to marker everything that we want in the picture. So my face, obviously, my shirt, and you could just like run it just to like make sure you got everything in there. Okay, 1 second. And then you want to make sure it's so close. You want to make sure that you get the ears as well. There are certain things that you can miss through this, so I like to be as precise as possible. And to get rid of some things, all you have to do, like to make it red like this, you have to press Alt and just scroll, and that gets rid of a section of the picture. But in order to get something out of the picture, you just, you know, scroll on it. And it's looking pretty good so far. I'm missing an ear though, so let's go back to it. Usually when there's like a thumbnail on YouTube, there's usually a shadow in the background because, you know, when people just start doing YouTube videos, like if you look at like earlier videos of like say Chris Stuckman or the Flick Pick, they have like their thumbnails and their, you know, persons cut out, but it looks kind of weird. So what we can do just to like make that look more natural is we're gonna go to shadow. Well, actually, let me show you this first. There are a couple ways we can do this. If you go to layer, in layer styles, you can put on a drop shadow, and you can see like that it tried to add a shadow there, but I'm actually not really liking that. I don't usually use that a lot. I usually only use it for like logos and text and stuff like that, but for a person it doesn't really work, so I'm just gonna undo that. And we are going to type in shadow on the effects. We're gonna take dimensional glow shadow. I'm gonna drag it to my character. And there is somewhat of a difference, but we can change this real quick. And we are going to make all these black. Usually when it comes up, it's white, black, black, but just change it to all black. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna increase the softness. And there we go. It's looking actually pretty good for the most part. If you want to change the color of this, like I know like this is kind of raw looking, we can actually go to the effects real quick, go to color correction, brightness and contrast, and just bring up the contrast a little bit. There we go. That's looking cool. It looks like the light is reflecting off my skin, so that's pretty cool. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna add the logo that we have, the Wonder Woman logo, because when you're doing a movie review, you typically want to, put a logo right there. Let's scale it real quick. So yeah, we can change it up so we can still have my face in there. But the problem with this is that there's a black background. There are many different ways to approach this, but I'm going to show you the way that you can approach it, but I don't usually do. Like I said, we're going to go to mode and we're going to go to screen. But I don't really like screen because it took out a majority of the logo as well. Because this kind of dark color is very close to black, so you only want to do that if it's like white or something like that, like the opposite of black. So I'm going to undo that. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to type in Luma key on here, and we're going to drag Luma key to the logo, and you want to make sure it's on keep out darker, which it is. Go to the threshold, and it's looking pretty good for the most part. Let's zoom in real quick. Hand tool. You can see that there's some grain right there. That's fine because the picture's so far away, but I want to be as professional as possible. And just bring the threshold up. 19, did a pretty good job. But the problem is you can't really see the Wonder Woman text. It's hard to read. So what we can typically do is we're not going to do the dimensional glow thing from the effects. We're actually going to do the practical way, just drop shadow. And that's looking pretty good for the most part. If you want to do the dimensional glow, that's totally fine. Like I said, this is just such a small logo, no one's going to matter. And then we can add text to our thumbnail. And usually what I do is I use the impact font for my text. And we're going to type in movie review. Now the problem is the letters are so close together. So let's scale it up a little bit. So we've kind of separated the lettering a little bit, but it's gotten really big font size wise. So what we can do to bring down the scale and without ruining the letter spacing is go to the actual layer itself, press scale, and bring it down to 63, and that's looking pretty good. And you can change the color if you want. You can change it to yellow. For the purpose of this thumbnail, I just liked the white coloring, so we're just going to keep it on white. And then we are going to add another shadow because I'm cool like that. And there we go. We have a really neat thumbnail for a movie review of Wonder Woman. But say that if you wanted to create your own background, this was actually just a background I found online. So what we're actually going to do is if you want to just create your own colored background, there are a couple ways of approaching this. So let's go ahead and get rid of everything Wonder Woman related and just keep my rotoscope. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to layer, new, solid, and you can pick a color right here. And I'm gonna go with blue. There we go. Click OK. Okay. And obviously it shows up on top of the layer. That's totally fine. We'll get to that later. So go to the layer again, solid, and we're actually going to do a black solid. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to mask this as an oval. So just, you know, get out here real quick. We're going to go to the ellipse tool, and then we're going to make an oval on top of the blue layer. Now, what we're going to do now is we are going to invert this. So click inverted, and that just basically switches the colors around. And obviously this is looking weird. You're probably wondering what I'm doing, but we're going to actually feather it out. So if we feather it out, it makes it kind of like this ramp. And we're going to bring myself on top of the picture. Oops. What's going on here? I honestly don't know what this is about. Oh, there we go. Sometimes when you are doing this, if you zoom out a little bit, it does that. I have no idea why. We can just go back to the thing. It added like a black mark to my tooth, so that's weird. Okay, cool. So we got that. So there we go. We have a little background right here, and you know, usually that like we have like this space portion right over here to put where, you know, whatever we want, and we can put YouTube. And then add like a layer or something. Yay! So yeah, that's a way to make a thumbnail using After Effects. If you don't have a background and if you want to make your own background, there are many different ways to make a colored background. You could even make a rainbow background using After Effects, but you know, there are other tutorials out there on how to make a, you know, the different colored backgrounds that are available to you. So we're actually just gonna get rid of these right here. We're going to bring this back down, and we're just going to go back to the Wonder Woman concept. So I just had to rearrange the you know, layers back into their original place. And that's pretty much how you can make a thumbnail. Let's go into exporting the thumbnail. So what you want to do is, you know, before you export, if you have like these ends, if you have like these ends right here, like from 1 minute to 20 minutes, what it's basically going to do is it's going to export each and every individual frame into a JPEG. So you don't want to do that because you're going to have a lot of photos, probably around like 2,000, probably more. I'm just not doing math right now. So what you're going to want to do is take the right end and bring it to the left, so it's all just one frame. And then we're going to go to export, add to render queue, and we're going to format this as a JPEG sequence. And then YouTube thumbnail, YouTube thumbnail. Yeah, we can type this whatever we want. Let's save it as I'm the shit. So there we go. And we're going to render it. And I think, I'm not entirely sure actually where we saved that. Damn, I should have saved it in the desktop area, but that's okay. We specifically titled it, so let's look in our Finder. I'm the shit. And there it is. Let's just drag it to the desktop. And that's our thumbnail that we made. It's, you know, it looks pretty much like the one from earlier, the original one. These logos are actually different. I probably should have mentioned that. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much how you can make a thumbnail using After Effects. Like I said, if you have Photoshop, I would try to learn Photoshop as best as you can. There are YouTube tutorial videos online. I just don't really like Photoshop, but I know since I'm like going into the film industry, I should probably learn Photoshop in the near future. After Effects is just like that go-to application that I use when I'm making thumbnails for YouTube. But definitely I need to get started on learning Photoshop. So comment down below what you thought of this tutorial, like the video, share it, and please subscribe to my vlogging channel if you haven't yet. And please subscribe to Pixel Talk. It's my movie review channel. I'll put that in the link down below. And this is my first tutorial video, and this was like how to make a thumbnail on After Effects. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to make videos in the future. Thank you guys so much. I'm Corbett Stuckey, and this is my little vlogging channel.